up guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm reviewing The Strangers Prey at Night. This one came out in 2018, was directed by Johannes Roberts, and stars Bailee Madison and Christina Hendricks. Now before we start, don't forget that like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you know for a free video, and let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So the cinematography, which of course includes shots, cameras, and lighting, I thought was fine. There are some creepy shots within this film that work, but overall I thought it was just fine. The atmosphere and setting I thought was very creepy. There's a very creepy atmosphere that is established right in the, I would say, second act of the film. And the setting, I think it is a creepy location that works for this film. There are some tense sequences, and one in particular is the pool sequence with the guy with the bag on his head and one of the other characters. And I think it works because of the classic 80s score playing during that sequence. And moving on to the score I thought was good. But Adrian Johnson did a good job with the score, again, with the classic 80s songs playing during some death sequences in this film, which I think enhanced the creepiness of the film, of the sequences. The third act of the film I thought was okay. It wasn't a great third act. It wasn't as good as the previous film's third act, but for what we got, I thought it was okay. That's all the good that I have. Now to move on to the bad. So all the actors in Action Film were all mediocre. I didn't care about anyone. Christina Hendricks and Bailee Madison are the best actresses in this film, but then again, they weren't really given that much to do, so I thought they were okay. The rest of the characters I didn't care about at all. The opening sequence is a bad opening sequence, a terrible opening sequence. It's where one of the stranger kills elderly people in their home. It doesn't make any sense because they're not even main characters in the film. They're only mentioned once in the film after their death, and that was it. So I didn't really see the point of having that opening sequence. There is no character development. I didn't care about any of the characters. Like I said, not even Christina Hendricks or Bailee Madison, which are the two characters that you're supposed to care about. I didn't care about them at all. The first and second acts of the film are very, very mediocre. Again, they set up the characters in a weird way where it leads to me not caring about any of them. And the second act of the film doesn't really enhance the jump scares or enhance the total atmosphere of the film. It's just a second act. Some of the cinematography is hilariously bad. There are unnecessary close-ups to people's faces, which I don't think it was necessary. And in the end, it just looked terrible. There are some boring sequences within this film. I had to constantly be pausing this film to get something to eat, get something to drink, because it was just relentless and it was just terrible. It was boring as like one of the worst films I've ever seen. It was almost as boring as probably Friday Part 5. It's bad. It's very, very bad. It is very boring. There are some dumb character decisions. Of course, when you have a film like this, I'm fine with it knowing what it is and being a B movie and having those dumb character decisions. But this film takes it way too seriously, and they make some dumb decisions in this film, which, again, the director, I don't know what they were trying to do with this film in terms of character decisions, because there are some bad ones. Many sequences are taken directly from its predecessor, or The Strangers, just with a different setting. That is basically this entire film. This entire film is The Strangers with a different setting, different characters, change a little bit of the motivations of the characters, and that's it. It's basically the same thing as the first one, and the first one is 10 times better than the result that we got for this film. The jump scares. There are some bad jump scares in this film. I did not feel creeped out, or there was no tension in this film just because of the jump scares. James Wan, of course he didn't direct the first film, but James Wan is a master at jump scares. And the first film, The Strangers, the director actually did a good job with those jump scares. I actually felt creeped out by the result of the jump scares in the first film. This one is just constant jump scare after jump scare, which it gets repetitive and you don't feel the intensity of those scares. The ending sequence I thought was very, very mediocre. It did not work for me at all. Did not tie up any loose ends that we had in the film. It's just another boring ending sequence to another boring horror film. That's about it. The Strangers Prey at Night is a terrible horror film. It's definitely one of the most boring horror films that I've ever seen, and I highly recommend that you do not check this out and check out the original, The Strangers. And I'm going to give The Strangers Prey at Night a D+. Thank Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you know for a free video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.